So I mean, that's real world diving missions. I mean, this may surprise a lot of people, but even though the SEAL teams are the premier maritime special operations force, sorry, Marines, we still don't. There's not been in the history of the SEAL teams. There's been a handful of actual diving missions. Tell us about that. That's a pretty big deal.
So actually, it was 2018. So Biden was in. It was awesome. So we took swift boats out there and doing dive ops with cameras and taking videos, pictures, and I was like mind blown on how big it was, like 30 feet by like 50 feet, giant hole inside these shipping containers, and some of them were sinking, but we're doing like full blown assessments, sending it straight to Biden, and then we were on standby to do follow on hook and climbs. So we were waiting for that.
So in that area, you're actually in Yemenese waters, is that right?
So we're in the Strait of Hormuz, which is like across the way from Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, 2018, Trump would have still been in office because Biden wasn't until early 20.
That's right, 2018. Yeah.
So you're sending that stuff directly to Trump. And there was a potential follow-on shipboardings that may have come out of that, depending on what you guys found.
Yeah, there was. It never got approved, I think, because it was like they wanted to fucking go to war at that time. So they never got. I don't think he wanted to escalate it.
Yeah.
And then obviously fast forward till the present day when those guys did actually the hook and climbs, but the hook and climbs that we did, or that we were trying to get proof for, the Israelis actually did it.
Oh, really?
The same. I'm not gonna get into the name of it, but they did that hook climb on that.
No shit.
It was basically a C2 element that was the ship that was stationed in the middle of the Red Sea, and they were doing. They raided that place.
Wow. You guys pissed that they got it and you guys didn't?
Yeah, it was a little butter, but as long as bad dudes get extinguished from this earth, that's all that matters.
Were there any close calls when you guys were diving? Like, did you ever run into any unknowns or any almost things happen?
So the timing was pretty close. So as we were going out, we went in the middle of the morning, and like maybe an hour before we left, the Yemenis dudes were dropping those landmines. So like if we would have left just an hour later, then we would have interacted with the dudes that were dropping those mines on them.
How many of you were there? Like, was it your entire platoon diving?
It was actually just a SEAL platoon of 16 dudes. And then my chief asked for a new guy to get some experience. And I was like, he actually just told me, he's like, yeah, you're going to go. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
So it was me and 3 older guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In your training workup prior to deployment, how many weeks of dive training did you guys do?
We did like 3 weeks of closed circuit diving. I was a pretty good diver. I was like 3 weeks of stuff in San Diego.
Yeah. Because I know there's less of a focus on diving, at least in the last 15, 20 years. We still do it, but again, like in the late 90s, prior to 9/11, like our dive training was 6 or 8 weeks, and we'd do 2 a days. We and even when we did like GoPlat takedowns, we would dive on them and do a lot of dive training that way. We did a lot more of it back then, but was there any bit of like, holy shit, we're gonna dive? Like, we only did 3 weeks of this shit. Like, we got to knock the rust off.
Yeah. So actually, it was free diving. So we weren't on
close.
Really? Yeah. So we were just
straight scuba.
We were just doing breath holding.
Oh wow.
So we would have one dude on the surface looking after, and we would just take turns diving.
Oh, okay.
Taking videos, pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you? I mean, is that why you guys didn't go closed circuit? Is because you were rusty or you didn't have it, or what was the reason for not diving?
Good question. I'm not sure why we didn't dive. I think it was so. I don't think the equipment was there, and it was so sporadic. We were just there, and then we were on standby in case a war kicked off or whatever.
Yeah.
That we just we didn't have any gear, so we just sent it on a free dive.
I mean, that's to me that's pretty cool. That's frogman shit as it gets. I am curious, what was your guys' loadout weaponry wise?
So we had the 160th dudes with us. So they were stationed in Abu Dhabi, and they were flying ordnance over to us where we were at. So we had like A-dubs on the roof, snipers. We had a whole bunch of gear with us.
Did you guys, as divers, were you carrying a loadout of any kind?
We weren't carrying a loadout. We had dudes on swick boats with,
Shit.
yeah.
Like not even a pistol?
No, nothing.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
What's going on in the SEAL teams?
We just were like, Frogman, give me a fucking K-bar knife.
Yeah.
And let's give him massless set.
For sure, I would have had a 357 fucking Magnum. Being in the water, I'd have had something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if I had to sneak it on. I wouldn't go with nothing. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's different than what I imagined when you first mentioned it. Can you walk through like from start to finish how that whole thing goes down?
So we took the swick boats out. We were doing battle damage assessment. We would drive out there doing free dives, taking videos, pictures. Went back to the little outstation we were at, sent it straight to Trump, and we were waiting for approval to do shipping boards.
But I guess from almost from if you're presenting a con ops, right? Like how did that get presented as far as like, can you walk us through we had these 4 automatic weapon guys post here, then we got on the boats. Then like, can you walk us through kind of the phases of operations of how it went down?
So we're sitting on the swick boats at the dock, and the swick dudes had like, 240s on each side, and there was like 5 of us. So we had a bunch of guns. All the operators had A-dubs, M4s. So we had plenty of firearms, law rockets, and we were actually training to shoot law rockets at the ship we were going to board. But waiting on approval, they said yes. We just sent it out there, did the free dives, came back, sent it to Trump. And then it was funny because we were watching on the news, and they had pictures of us on the swick boats and all the containers that were blown up.
Oh, really?
And that was while we were diving. It was just obviously there was oil and gasoline all in the water. So I was sitting there just gargling on gasoline and oil. Yeah. I'm like, this shit can't be good.
Yeah, that's fucking gnarly.
And the disintegrated metal that was all in the water. I'm like, probably gonna get cancer later, but fuck it.
Yeah. Do you know? Did you guys look or did you know what was in the shipping containers, like what they were blowing up?
So they were doing it. They would go down like 30 feet, and they would put it on the bottom, and they would blow holes in it. I think dudes actually died that were in like the engine room. But yeah, they were just blowing them up to basically just start some shit.
So it wasn't like targeted. These are weapon shipments. It was just random shit.
Yeah, it was just random sea containers.
Yeah,
they were hitting like UK. They weren't hitting any US ones. There was like UK ones and a bunch of stuff that were shipping into shit at the Haudenosaunee.
So you guys actually didn't know what was in the shipping containers?
Yeah. No, yeah.
All right. So how long did that go on?
So we were there for like 4 weeks. And then Trump eventually said, we're not going to do any of those shipping climbs. And then we went back to Abu Dhabi, and that was towards the end of deployment.
Yeah. Okay.